I've spent many hours trying to figure out an attribution for this marvelous sculpture. Darlene White, the curator of Inuit art at the Winnipeg Art Gallery, suggested to me that it might be by Abraham POV, based on the mother's staring eyes, her downturned mouth, and the realistic treatment of her sagging parka hood. I had thought of him as a possible candidate, but there are other intriguing possibilities as well, including Abraham Nastapoka, INUKJUAK, and UNIDENTIFIED, for example, all fine carvers. After reviewing hundreds of photos, though, my strongest hunch is that it could very well be by the great UNIDENTIFIED. This depiction of a powerful-looking mother and her son is unusual because it's standing instead of seated. It's also surprising that it was carved from a single piece of stone, especially because it's so large. But I think the most extraordinary thing about this work is its sculptural presence. All of these things suggest to me a date of around 1957-58, and if my hunch of it possibly being by UNIDENTIFIED is correct, this date fits in well with the evolution of his sculptural style. There are so many things I love about this work. I love the slight tilt of the mother's head, her melancholy eyes, her downcast mouth. These are all subtle details, but together they deliver a real emotional punch. The mother's riveting gaze is absolutely mesmerizing. And the boy gazes at us too, but his facial expression is more difficult to read. It seems to me like the two of them are witnessing or waiting for something really important. The mother's expression seems to register fear or worry. It's extraordinarily moving. The sculpture is also a real carving feat. You would expect that a composition like this would be made of 3 separate pieces of stone. Carving it from one large block required incredible craftsmanship and enormous effort. But it shows true artistic sensitivity too, because of the subtle forms and even the sense of movement in this sculpture. Look how the boy is in motion. 1 foot back, he even has a bit of a diagonal tilt. He hasn't quite caught up with his mother yet, and she's standing quite still. On top of this, the artist paid close attention to the clothing as well. Look at the folds of the mother's snug-fitting parka. They're especially interesting. The whole work is just brilliant.